Triple mock draft as we go donging around the NFL draft. And I'm going to start with the one that's my favorite because I don't know if you guys are familiar with my alter ego. My alter ego's name is Captain Trade Down. I'm a big fan of trading down in the NFL draft. I'm not a big fan of trading up in the NFL draft. And so the first mock draft I want to go to from this week is going to be Chad Roto-Rooter. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but it's Chad, and then it's Reuter. He's worked at NFL.com for a while, so I call him Chad Roto-Rooter. So in the first round, he has the Dallas Cowboys making the selection of Sonny Styles, Ohio State linebacker. And as you guys know, I would be a fan of that pick because that's my little Fred. That's my little Fred.
Yours?
Yeah.
Yours?
Yeah, he's my little Fred.
Have you taken ownership of Jesse's man crush?
I told him about him. He doesn't get to take him.
No, he told me. He definitely was like, listen.
And the way that I converted him is I said, Jesse. He's like, Fred.
Yeah. I was all in. I was all in once he told me that.
That's all I had to do. I know how to get to people. You just got to know which buttons to push. If you want Jesse to like a guy, say he reminds you of Fred Warner.
Yeah.
That'll be it. It'll be over.
When Fred was walking around Radio Row, I thought Jesse was going to hug him.
Well, no.
You know what? I wanted to. I did. I wanted to. And I wanted to know what kind of clothes he wore. But
you want to get that close?
I didn't do it.
You want to smell him?
I wanted us to man hug, a bro hug. I did.
Oh, man.
I did, but I'm too player for that. So I was like, I gave one of them. I gave them what's
up,
bro?
You know
what I'm saying? But he can look at me and was like, that's a player right there. You know what I'm saying? Real playeristic right there. I gave one of them, he gave me one back. We kept it, you know what I'm saying? We kept it pushing.
J. Phil in the chat said, my little Fred shirts are gonna go crazy. I think that's a fair point.
You got a shirt.
All right. Here's the point. The point is, I scrolled down on the mock draft of Fred Roto, or that's his name's not Fred, Chad Roto-Rooter. I love the name Fred.
Do you?
Yes. Yeah, and I think it's because of the movie Tombstone. I think it's like the sheriff's name, and before they kill him, the guy's high on opium and drunk, and he's just like, Fred, and the way he says Fred. I like the name Fred. At number 20, the Dallas Cowboys don't make a pick, baby. And they don't make a pick because the Buffalo Bills cannot get a wide receiver core together to save their lives. So they're coming up. They want to take the 6'4" wide receiver out of Washington named Denzel Boston. So the Cowboys are trading back. What do the Cowboys get for trading back? They get a 3rd round and a 4th round pick from the Buffalo Bills to move back 6 spots. Once you move back 6 spots, let me run the draft out for you. Denzel Boston, wide receiver. KC Concepcion, wide receiver at A&M. Blake Miller, offensive tackle, Clemson to the Texans. Avion Terrell, corner to the Vikings. Caleb Lomu to Cleveland, the offensive tackle from Utah. Caden McDonald, Ohio State nose tackle to the Chicago Bears. And then the Cowboys are on the clock. You move back 6 spots. Only one guy that the Cowboys would have any interest in went. So you might be picking the exact same guy you were going to pick, although I'd probably pick Avion Terrell, the Clemson corner, if you could have. And the Cowboys are going to take a safety. They are going to take Emmanuel McNeil Warren, who I don't know if you guys are familiar with his work. He's from Toledo. He fits into the mold of what people talk about with safeties now. He's 6'2". He's 205 pounds. That sucker will come down in the box and set the edge, and then he'll play a deep half on the next play. So he's one of those really fun hybrid safety sorts. And you add a 3rd and a 4th round pick. Now, he didn't go through the 4th round, but he did go through the 3rd on his mock draft. And in the 3rd round, as your bonus for moving back, you get Gabe Yakis, who, if you watch the Senior Bowl, he's an Illinois defensive end that would absolutely be a rotational guy for you as a rookie, especially now because the Cowboys don't have any defensive ends, not named Donovan Ezeraku. And that's just illustration number 1 of Jeff's little captain trade down, although I do kind of hate one of the guys that went. I would have liked to have had Avion Terrell playing corner for me over a safety. But that's the risk you run when you're trading back. Go ahead, Clarence.
You're a draft Nick, draft guru, draft specialist. We talk about positional value. I understand taking Caleb Downs high because he's just that bad mofo, but taking other safeties in the first round, positional value, how does that matter if he's not special?
I think it's a great question because I do think it's hard. I think people are going to look at Caleb Downs and they think that he's going to play in a lot of Pro Bowls, that he may be an All-Pro. And you may see that sort of potential with McNeil Warren because he does have the unique size and movement ability combination, and that's why he's being considered as a potential first-round pick. The hard part to me about safety and about running back is if you are not blown away by the guy that you're getting, there will absolutely be starting safeties as rookies picked in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round. It's going to happen. Same thing's going to happen at running back. And that's what does make it tough to take a safety high unless you think you're getting somebody really special.
Cook was the first round safety, right?
Who's that?
Malik Hooker won the first round, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Malik Hooker, it never really happened for him, but Malik Hooker was kind of viewed as
he's supposed to be special.
He was viewed as almost-ish Ed Reed kind of thing. Like people thought Malik Hooker was going to have 50 interceptions.
Right.
Like that's at Ohio State. He was really I'm gonna line up way back here and watch me end up with the football all the time. And it never really came together that way in the league. And so, yeah.
Not even close. I mean, he's a guy who's been a starter, but there's nothing about any season that's been special. Not Pro Bowl, nothing.
No.
There's been up echelon, but he's going to play in the league 10 years, I guess. But is that what you want in the first round of safety? When you get that in the 3rd and 4th and 5th round?
No, I think that's when you view picking a safety as a disappointment in the first round. If you get a guy that has a solid NFL career, you're like, man, I wish I would have picked a more valuable position. I wish I would have gotten more value out of that pick. And so that's actually a trade down that we just went through that I probably don't love. I would rather just sit and pick and get a corner that I think is going to be a big-time playmaker in the NFL. Other 2 mock drafts and a mock draft roundup while we're donging around the draft. Mike Renner at CBS Sports. I like Mike Renner because Mike Renner is one of those guys that his draft rankings look way different from everybody else because he doesn't care. He watches the guys, he puts them in order, and he doesn't care what the rest of the world has kind of agreed is the way that things are. And he has the Cowboys going with a hurt corner at number 12 overall, Jermod McCoy out of Tennessee, which I know people aren't going to like it. When we go to the combine,
I'm people.
What if we at least get to see him? What if at the combine he goes out there and he does everything and he tests as a phenomenal athlete and he looks good physically? And then you're like, okay, he's past it. It's not like Revel where you don't really test and you don't really know. What if you get to know everything you want to know physically? Then does the year of not playing football this year coming off the ACL not bother you?
Yeah, football's fluid. I still stand in a place where I can change my mind after if I'm given more evidence. If I'm given more concrete evidence, then I can change my mind.
Yeah. And then the third mock draft and a mock draft roundup here. Oh, we took Blake Miller at number 20, by the way. It's Clemson offensive tackle who I haven't even seen yet, which goes to my love for Mike Renner. I'll go watch him today. He doesn't care about other people's rankings. And an offensive tackle at 20, I think people might lose their minds on that too.